They were not born powerful. They became powerful. Through war, manipulation, and sheer will, three figures rose from the shadows of history and changed the world forever. But every rise comes with a price, and these stories prove that power never comes without blood, betrayal, or sacrifice. You're watching True History Tales, where we uncover the real stories behind the people who shaped our world. Let's begin with the soldier who crowned himself emperor. Case 1. Napoleon Bonaparte, the soldier who crowned himself emperor. In 1769, a boy was born on the small island of Corsica, a child of modest origins named Napoleon Bonaparte. By the time he was 9, his family sent him to France to study. He didn't fit in. He was mocked for his accent, his height, his origins. But Napoleon didn't forget. He stored every insult like ammunition. When the French Revolution exploded, Napoleon saw opportunity where others saw chaos. He wasn't born into nobility, but the revolution had destroyed the old order, and anyone bold enough could climb the ruins to power. His genius was strategy. His gift was control. He could see battles like puzzles and nations like chessboards. At 24, he became a general. At 30, he was the most famous man in France. And at 35, he crowned himself emperor. No king crowned him. No church blessed him. Napoleon took the crown because he believed he earned it. But power that burns too bright always burns out fast. His wars consumed Europe. His ambition consumed himself. And when he finally fell, the world breathed a sigh of relief, but also of awe, because they had witnessed the rise of a man who turned chaos into empire. Next, we travel to Germany, where another man would rise not through war, but through words. Case 2. The orator who captured a nation. In 1919, Germany was a nation humiliated, defeated in war, crippled by debt. Its people were desperate, and desperation always searches for a voice. He was a failed artist, a former soldier, but he had something no one else did, the ability to make people believe. He didn't just speak, he performed. Every pause, every gesture, every shout was calculated to ignite emotion. The people who heard him began to see him not as a politician, but as a savior. He promised to restore pride, rebuild power, and punish those who betrayed the nation. And slowly, the crowd grew, from dozens to hundreds, from hundreds to millions. Propaganda became his weapon. Fear became his ally. By the time the world realized what he was building, it was already too late. He had turned democracy into dictatorship, and words into war. His rise is a warning written in history. Evil doesn't always appear with horns and fire. Sometimes it arrives with promises of greatness and the sound of applause. Our final story takes us not to a battlefield or a broken nation, but to a palace. A woman surrounded by enemies, born into scandal, who turned survival into supremacy. Case 3. Queen Elizabeth I, the woman who outplayed every man in power. In 1533, Elizabeth Tudor was born to King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, a daughter instead of the son the king wanted. When her mother was executed, Elizabeth became the daughter of a traitor. In a court filled with plots and daggers, she learned to survive by being silent and by watching everyone. She was clever, cautious, and patient. While others fought for the throne, she waited. And when the time came, she claimed it, not by war but by wit. Under her rule, England transformed. She united Protestants and Catholics under a single flag, resisted invasions, and turned her small island kingdom into a global power. The arts flourished, exploration expanded, and her image became legend. They called her the Virgin Queen, but her real devotion was not to any man. It was to her country and to power itself. She mastered politics in an age that believed women couldn't rule. And when she died, she left behind not just a throne, but an empire that would shape the world for centuries. They came from different worlds, a soldier, a speaker, and a queen. Each fought for power. Each changed the world. And each learned the same truth. Power never reveals who you are. It reveals what you're willing to become. You've been watching True History Tales. If you enjoyed this quick dive into history's most powerful figures, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because next time, we're uncovering the secret stories of the rulers who lost everything overnight Until then, keep seeking the truth behind history.